Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a weekly video podcast where we talk about the latest and greatest happenings in VGC. And this time, we have a great show planned. Some very good players, including some Regulation I action. The first Regulation I action happened this weekend. Oh my God, I hate saying Regulation I.
It's bad.
And we got some special guests. So first and foremost, we have player who got top 4 at the first major Regulation I tour, joined by Seawolves Mike. How you doing?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, it's great to have you on. Congratulations on the finish. I'm excited to hear all about your run. And then also, we have an Atlanta local who I guess we just found out has not played any Regulation I, so it'll be fun to talk about this. But here to preview Atlanta regionals, we got Tanner Mask. How you doing?
We appreciate all perspectives. Okay, sorry.
I'm doing great.
It's great to have you. We haven't had a regional in Georgia in a long time, so I haven't been there in a long time as well. So I'm excited to have a local to tell us where to go and what to do.
Oh, of course.
And of course, last but not least, I got my lovely co-host Alex Underhill. How you doing?
Doing good. Interrupting people, making the show flow well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great to have you. And so with that,
That's what I'm here for. Let's
jump into it. We do have a little bit of Regulation G to talk about. Like I mentioned, we'll talk about Atlanta regionals at the very end of the show. And before I get too far, if you are here in Twitch and you can't watch the entire thing, you should go ahead and check me out on YouTube. This will be up tomorrow morning, so look out for that. And of course, if you're on YouTube, feel free to join us on Twitch where we do these live. And I've been bugging Alex to put these on Spotify. I'm making this his responsibility. So if you want it on Spotify, go and tweet at Alex, DM Alex, mention it in the comments. Because I found out recently that Spotify lets you do video podcasts, and I'm not compromising on the video part of it, but it'd be cool to have this on other platforms as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Of course.
So with that, we got some Regulation G to talk about. First and foremost, the most important news of this past weekend: the Newbark Loud Puppies have won NPA. Yes, this is Alex. This is exactly why I wanted to host the podcast this time. This is my first year managing an NPA team, and this is my 4th championship now. The 3rd with the Newbark Loud Puppies, and the 3rd championship for the Puppies in the last 5 years. Shout outs to my entire team, who was just absolutely awesome to work with, and yeah, we took it home. And Fede Campo had a X1 season. His only loss was to Rayquaza in the very last, the penultimate week of the season, which is so funny. Yeah, no, it was a really fun season. And what's up?
The title, dude.
What? Oh no, it changed. How did that change?
I don't know.
Oh,
Somebody
no.
said Pokemon Presents, and I googled it. I was like, "Is there a Pokemon Presents today?" And I didn't even know about it.
I definitely changed the title. And then I guess it didn't go through or something. How did it change?
I think
to
it's
that?
bad it's messed up on Twitch and YouTube as well. By the way, just so you know.
It's me, Justin.
Do you need me to get it, or do you got it?
Wait, it's on YouTube? Oh, I know what's happening. Whoops. I'm not streaming directly to Twitch. I'm streaming to Restream. So I guess we're live on YouTube too. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That wasn't part of the plan. We'll work with it. We're live on YouTube too. Hello everyone on YouTube. Cool. This is I have not been able to stream in a long time because I just moved apartments, and so I guess the last time I was streaming, I was also co-streaming to YouTube on the live reaction. So we should change the title there too. Are you changing the title on Twitch?
Sure, but I just don't know what the title was that you went with.
I don't know. Tub Nation, or the first. Okay, it was like
I got it.
You got it. Figure it out. We'll get it.
I'll figure it out. You keep
Regulation
going.
I is here. Tub Takes recaps the first Regulation I tournaments and previews Atlanta. And guess what? Oh, that's just too long for YouTube. What do you mean? All right.
It sounds like a very long title. You said 8 sentences.
Yeah, well, so Twitch gives you 140 characters, I think, and YouTube gives you 100. So we will figure this out on YouTube in a little bit. But yeah, YouTube, hey, you get it live for the first time in a long time. And I guess I want to put YouTube chat on stream as well. But we'll figure that out. Sorry, YouTube chat. I will try to pay attention to you guys as well. But yeah, that was the NPA spiel. Really proud of the puppies, and you can watch the final stream on their channel, NPA's channel, or on Smogon YouTube, Smogon's Twitch channel. So that's pretty cool too. Anyways, the other Regulation G news. The other Regulation G news is the fourth and final global challenge is here. It's not the last chance to earn championship points in these sort of tournaments in the GCs. We do have one more grand challenge on an undetermined date in May, but this is the last global challenge. This is the last chance for players in Japan and Korea to qualify for their respective national championships. And this is the last chance for you to compete against them. And of course, this is the penultimate chance for you to earn championship points in these tournaments. Alex, are you excited to play 45 games of Regulation G this weekend?
I'm questioned if I even will bother. Like it's just I do actually think at this point in Reg G's life cycle, I maybe am having a little more fun playing best of one than best of three. I did well in the first global challenge, and then not so well in the second and third. But I had like a good time, at least team building for those ones, trying to trick people with really dumb strategies. Yeah, I don't know. What have you guys? What's been your guys' experiences playing in these past couple global challenges in Reg G?
Last one I finished 14-12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was the one before that right after San Antonio? I think. I'm pretty sure it was. Or maybe that was
yeah.
one of the. I played that one with my San Antonio team, and I posted my sheet on Twitter right before, and it got like 15 saves or bookmarks or whatever. That one was a little tougher, but I got 128. So those are my Reg G ones.
Got it.
Yeah, my first Reg G one is actually pretty good. I almost got my third top 32, but I kind of choked it in the end. And then in the second and third one, I just did pretty meh. Like Calyrex is just not carrying me enough.
I think that's kind of how it always goes in these online competitions. You choke it in the end,
I'm just gonna bring Maridon, Shenpao, Entei, and Ball this weekend.
I mean, offense is like a strong way to approach these. I do think that generally, if you're KOing your opponent before they KO you, you're not going to get surprised. Basically, it's a good strategy.
That's true.
Yeah, YouTube chat is on screen. That's right. Now you can participate on YouTube and on Twitch. It's very fun. Anyways, so I am actually, you know me, I love these tournaments. I have a lot of fun playing best of one. I have a lot of fun building for best of one. Because Atlanta Regionals is the same weekend, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play enough to get my third top 32 finish, which is the goal. But I do think my Atlanta team is like low key a really good GC team. And so I am going to try to queue up and see if I can do pretty well. But it's just really hard when you are also at a tournament. You're at a hotel, you're trying to have fun on Saturday night or get ready for Sunday, and you're not really focusing on the GC. So we'll see how much time, if you don't make day two at Atlanta, you have some time on Saturday night and on Sunday. If you do make day two and you don't make top cut, you actually have a lot of time on Sunday as well. But obviously you kind of want to be socializing, enjoy yourself at the regional instead. So we will see how it goes, but I will at least sign up at the very least. And you don't forget to sign up, right? Like it is the sign up does end on Thursday right before it starts, which is 5 p.m. Pacific time. That is 7 p.m. Eastern time. Is that right? Is it normally at that time? Or did daylight savings time?
Well, did we just get we must have just gotten the daylight savings, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it just changed.
Yeah.
GC to daylight savings that direction. Yeah, because you start at 7 ET and now it starts at 8.
It starts at 8, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So y'all know how it goes.
It's also a good reminder for everybody because they do adjust. They don't adjust it, but like the time changes locally if you're here in the U.S. So just don't get that slip up. But also just don't wait till the last hour. I guess just get it done Wednesday night or whatever, so that you don't have to worry about any of this.
Yep. And so in terms of what you should be going for, again, I think I usually have this pulled up. I don't have it pulled up, but the championship point payouts, it's like 170 for winning and 120 for top 32. And so the difference between winning and top 32 is like not all that much. 50 points is a lot, but like the gradual improvement is not all that much. But the drop off from top 32 to top 64 is pretty dramatic. And so you usually want to, at least if you're going for a Worlds invite, I think top 32 is really like the goal for most players, myself included. And so yeah, look out for that. And Ryan has been keeping track of all of these. I don't think he's updated it for Global Challenge 3. He normally posts it a day or two before the Global Challenge. So, well, definitely looking forward to that. But we did the math. I think Joe Garte was actually the player who got 32nd or 31st with a 1723 rating this time. We can see it right here. And he was 162nd place overall. And I do have the numbers here where the last two global challenges, again, keep in mind, Japanese players, Korean players do not count. People who don't have their accounts linked do not count. And so your placement will go up, and it'll go up pretty dramatically. And so you can see here the ratings for top 32 were 1741, then 1727, and this time it was 1723. So it only ever goes down. Last time I confidently stopped at 1727. Alex saw exactly how stressed I was, but I did finish 24th. So you can pretty confidently say that 1723 should be safe for top 32, barring something crazy happening. A little above that should definitely be safe. And the actual ranking, if you want to keep track of your ranking and what number is safe, it was in the world. It was I think 143rd, then 151st, and now 162nd for that 30-second slot as well. So if that's your goal, those are some numbers to keep in mind so that you know when to stop. Be careful. I know players every single GC who are like, if I win one more, I'll be safe. And they play one more and they lose and they never reach it again. It happens every time. So yeah, I think knowing when to stop is one of the most important things in the GC that you can possibly do.
GC in moderation.
That's true.
But yeah, I think that Adi pointed out the thresholds there. That's going to be good to watch. You got to consider some of the outside factors as well. This is the fourth one, so a lot of the Japanese players have already qualified. So there's going to be a few less of them participating. It's only 120, but it still makes an impact, especially because those are top tier competitors, ones that were capable of making it all the way to the qualifying stage. And then we have Atlanta, which is going to pull 800 players out of the system or something like that, however many people are going to Atlanta. And so any of those people, you can do both. Like Adi's talked about, you have the ability to do both. A lot of people will just choose completely not to. And so yeah, there's that. And so definitely going to be going down. I would expect the number to go down again. By how much exactly, that's going to be the thing to look out for, because I think we saw a bit of a more steep decline from 1 to 2, but 2 to 3 was just a mere 4-point difference, right? 1727 to 1723. So yeah, I mean, it's still going to be 1700 plus, but regardless, I think more important than the actual rating number is going to be paying attention to what your overall placement is. And so if it was 160, 150, 140, basically, something in those ranges are going to be the numbers that you're looking for if you want to get that top 32 finish.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be interesting because this is the last chance to qualify for Japan Nationals. I know we're good friends with John Hu, and he is freaking out because this is his last chance to qualify for Japan Nationals. Or he's not freaking out. He's prepping really hard.
He's actually very confident. He's got this.
He's very confident. He also made the mistake of not stopping when he was supposed to stop last time. He was safely over and then played too many games and lost them. But yeah, definitely, it'll be interesting to see what Japan busts out, because this one is maybe the least exciting one for NA players and for Western players, and maybe the most important one for Japan. So that'll be interesting.
I was about to mention it. Someone else said it in chat, but Hirofumi's not qualified yet, so this is his last chance to try to qualify for Worlds.
Yeah. I wonder. I have not kept track of which Japanese players have made it and which ones haven't. But yeah, Hirofumi has got to be one of the biggest names that hasn't made it yet. And also, even if you make it to this stage, right, this next stage, I think it's 480 Japanese players will qualify, and only 75, I think, get their Worlds invite. So they have to participate in a in another ladder tour, I believe, to qualify for the in-person stage of Japan Nationals, where, and I don't remember the exact number of people who qualified. Someone maybe correct me on that. But yeah, it's they have to go through another stage. So even if you make it to this last stage, to the through the global challenge part of this tournament, you still have to keep playing it for Japan to make 64. It to Worlds. 64? They only get 64 invites?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
That's what I'm seeing. 64 per division.
That is so rough.
For each division, that is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. I know. I think every global challenge we kind of rehash the same topics, but it is good to know again where to stop at the very least. I'll give Mike and Tanner the floor because we always like to ask our guests. Do you have any tips or tricks for the global challenge?
You want me to start? I can start.
Go ahead.
Mine's definitely stop. Like in the first GC, the one that that Nails won, I was 1799, and one of my good buddies, Emilio Forbes, heckled me into playing another game, so I didn't stop flat on 1799, and then I proceeded to lose like 6 of my next 7 and go down to 128. He's a heckler. He heckled me. I literally was 1799.8, and he was like, "Your tweet's gonna suck if it's this uneven number." And I was like, "Yeah,
that number looks
right.
so ugly. That number looks so
yeah."
ugly.
And I was like, I didn't know how high up Nails was, so I was like 7th or 8th, and I was like, "Yeah, we're going for first." And I didn't get first. I did get 128, and that's still my highest finish. That was the first one. That's my tip. Just stop. Stop when you can.
I think I was I think I was at 1798 or something like that.
In that same one, you're saying?
I think it was. You're talking about Grand Challenge 1, right?
Whichever one, yeah, whatever the first one was. With I don't know, it didn't have the
Yeah, ratings are super high.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yep. I mean,
yeah.
I will say that's the one that I decided to park on, and then I got leapfrogged from like 27th to 33rd in over the course of like the last 5 minutes. So it does happen. Yeah, it's all you can't always stop, but yeah. Tanner just spoke. Mike, what do you have? Any tips or tricks for the global challenge?
Well, I was pretty successful in Reg H, not really Reg G. One thing that I liked is that my team was just really strong, but it also had, but it could also just auto win with Scarf, Pelipper, Muddy Water to Terra Electric Shot, kill D-Knight, and just win. So I think having like a strong team that also has like some maybe weird sets that can cheese opponents can go really far. Like if you find a good balance between like a strong team and like some tax, you can go really far. I think if you go too hard on the tax, you're just relying on cheesing opponents, and then your games are just going to come down to, do I cheese my opponent or do I not? And then you just get wrecked half the time, and then you do bad. But if you're building like a consistent team, like the Calyrex team that I brought to the GC, to the global challenges, like there was no good tax. I was slower, so I was just vulnerable to whatever tax my opponents had. Like a lot of the time, sometimes I'd lead Calyrex Raging Bolt, expecting a setup Calyrex Shadow, and then I'd just get OCO'd by Choice Specs, Terra Ghost, Calyrex Shadow. So I think also just not using a team that's too slow, unless you're Alex Underhill, who makes AV Calyrex work somehow. That team is insane, by the way.
That team was goofy.
I think having a team with like fast options, I think, is really important too.
Yeah, just because I did well with that one doesn't mean that I think your advice is not accurate. I think that it is 100% factual that if you just run fast offense and, like I said, kill them before they can surprise you, you never get surprised. Like, and that's just the beauty of it.
There's some volatility to that too, but
100%. Like it's basically just you live and die by the offense. If you miss a KO just barely, you're gonna get reverse KO'd usually. And And kind of along the lines of your first, your Reg 8 strategy, I think the takeaway from that is to it is like good to, and can be worth it to invest techs to prank popular Pokemon. Dragonite was very popular back in Regulation
That
8.
team was good. Low-key, I originally built that team for best of 3.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes best of 3 teams do plenty fine. I mean, look at what Wolf won with, So, um,
Well,
but
I mean,
yeah, I think
Wolf's team
Go
was
ahead,
like Wolf. I like to say that Wolf won an international with the best of 1 team, really. But yeah, go ahead.
I feel that too. I feel that actually a little bit better.
When I saw the team, I thought Wolf was going to go 5-3. I thought there was no way he was going to do good with that, and then he won.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's, what about you, Audie?
I mean, I do think that you can use a good team. Obviously, you see Cone over here using just standard Arabega. That's like that's Agata using his the team that he and Dill built. So yeah, you definitely can use more standard teams and do very well. But I think that
no draft there.
Oh, okay, maybe it is slightly different. I think that honestly, like that's the route. Is I think, and you touched on this, Mike, is that I think you really want a solid team, a team that you know is good and you know very well, but also especially if you know your bad matchups and you know what matchups you can't execute your standard game plan into, find ways to cheese them. That's what I did last GC when I got top 32. Just found a way to cheese Rebecca, and that's all you really need. You can pick 1 or 2 matchups where your funny techs are going to really come up, but yeah, you can't just tech out for everything. You have to have a solid backbone. You have to be able to play Pokemon, and then patch your bad matchups with funny techs. Is the way I like to do it.
Exactly.
All right. And so with that, let's move on from the GC because let's be real, we all want to talk about the biggest news in Pokemon. That's right. We have the Switch 2. The Switch 2. Oh, yeah. This is the first link? All right.
You can go to the other link if you want. The other link is maybe a bit more of an exciting one to look at. The other one is the second one is probably the more relevant to VGC one, so we'll come back to that. But go ahead, Audie.
So last week, I forget which day, the Switch 2 got announced officially, and it's out. It's going to be out on June 5th, which I think is right before the North American Championships. Of course, if you're in North America, you might not be able to. If you're in the United States, you might not be able to get one on that day. We'll see. But yeah, it's we don't know. Obviously, this is not a general Nintendo channel. If you haven't heard about the Switch 2, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. You can look that up somewhere else. But as far as Pokemon is concerned, one, we don't know if the Switch 2 will be allowed for the first tournament NAIC. Just we don't know what the infrastructure looks like. It doesn't have the same dock. I think it explicitly said the old docks are not going to work with these, and they do kind of require you to use the old docks at these tournaments right now. So we will see.
Scroll down, you'll see.
Yeah, not compatible. So we'll see what happens here with that. Whether they'll have that infrastructure ready by NAIC, I'm sure we'll have some guidance before that. You can transfer all of your games from and your entire account from your Nintendo Switch to your Switch 2. But I would say if you're planning on playing at NAIC, hold off on doing that because you might screw yourself if you can't use the Switch 2 at NAIC.
I think this is a really important PSA, honestly. I think
I go ahead.
I think everyone in the community should be aware that maybe the Switch 2 doesn't work at NAIC. I think Play Pokemon should actually announce something about that.
I imagine they will once they get a bit more information, I guess is probably what they're waiting on. But yeah, they're probably going to make an announcement saying that you cannot use the Switch 2 at NAIC. I would not be surprised if they said something like that at all. The Switch Lite is legal. It doesn't use the dock. Doesn't it? I thought it does use the dock. It's still able to connect to the internet, is it not?
It uses the dock, right? The light switch.
I don't know.
Well, how? I mean, they don't make a link code.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't have the exact answer for this one. This is a bit of a rare thing. You just can't use HDMI for it. Switch Lite still uses the dock. Yeah. That sounds right. But yeah, the big question is then, will they eventually integrate Switch 2 into VGC or not. It's like going to be very difficult if they would have to like, completely purchase all new stands that work with, all of the systems and stuff like that. It might just be that we're forced to stay on Switch 1. Is it called Switch 1 now, I guess? I don't know. The regular Switch and Switch Lite. We're going to be forced to stay on those ones until we migrate off of Scarlet and Violet and onto
No.
whatever's next,
No
right?
shot. There's no way that they force you to not transfer your profile over to your brand new Nintendo Switch 2. Like I get it for like the first couple of weeks after launch, but surely by the World Championships, they will have figured out some way to accommodate for the Switch 2. Like, because if not, because just like thinking about it from a business perspective, right? The Play Pokemon circuit is advertising for the Pokemon Company. They lose money, by and large, by throwing these tournaments. I think the World Championships makes money on like selling merchandise and stuff, but by and large they lose money on throwing these regional tournaments. They're doing it for marketing. They're doing it so people buy the new products. And if you can't use the new product at these tournaments, that's not going to fly for very long, right? That defeats the point of hosting these tournaments. So I just think that like they will figure out something. There will be a directive from Pokemon Company to make them figure out something. It might be a pain in the butt. It might mean more disconnects because I don't know how connected what the connectivity looks like between the Switch 2 and the Switch. But they will figure out something, and they will kind of be forced to make it happen, both from popular demand and from like Nintendo's business model, right? Like that's just how it's going to be.
And didn't they say that they had updates for some of the games as they're like going from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2? Like,
Yes.
I think I read that somewhere. So maybe when we play World Finals in that big old basketball court, they add in spectator mode. And because all they really would theoretically need in that is 2 Switch 2s, because I mean it's not like you play on your own Switch on stream. So they just put in that big old basketball court and they put it in spectator mode. It's gonna be a movie. World 25.
Rig top cut, so finals is 2 people with Switch 2. Easy.
Well, so what they do at tournaments on stream,
you don't play on the Switch.
They make you submit your rental codes. And you use the rental codes that you submitted. And so that's a great shout, and I did not think of that, but they are 100% for the stream going to be using the Switch 2 with the enhanced versions of the games that are coming out at some point, hopefully soon. And yeah, they're 100% going to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
could have more if they tried. Yeah, right.
Any other thoughts?
What about Japan Nats? Like, what if Japan Nats has a problem?
Wait, they'll probably be in a similar boat where they won't end up switching over until they're ready, until everything's tested and stuff. But yeah, I guess like really quick before we move on, besides like the fact that, we're all people that play the game competitively, are you guys excited for Switch 2? Are there any of the games that you thought looked sick? I know we're not a general Nintendo one. I just wanted to ask really quick before we move on. Did you guys check out the Switch 2 announcement, like direct and stuff? Audio, anything you're excited for?
Yeah, I mean, so those people who have played me at a regional or at locals know that my Switch is dying. It's like on one of the original Nintendo Switches, the fan is like not really working properly, so it's really loud. And I'm sure one day it'll conk out in the middle of a tournament, and I'll be pissed. And so I will be trying to get the Switch 2 on release if I can. So I've already tried to pre-order it. You have to sign if you go on your Nintendo account, you can actually try to sign up for an interest list to pre-order it, which of course is now being delayed because of Donald Trump. That's right. Donald Trump is stopping you from getting. He doesn't want you playing Nintendo Switch. He doesn't want any gamers. He doesn't like you. Anyway, so. But I will be. I did try to get the pre-order with Mario Kart World. It looks very fun. I haven't played a lot of Mario. I didn't get the last Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch, but I've played it with some friends and I've really enjoyed it. And the way that they formatted this, where you can, where it's a connected world and you like get to almost like play like an RPG that's also a racing game, does look really cool. I honestly was not super excited about any of the other games. Maybe the basketball game. The basketball game did look kind of cool. I'm just scrolling through, but none of the other ones were too exciting to me.
The fact that they were going to make you pay for the tech demo is insane.
Oh, that's such a dumb decision.
Was really funny. the welcome tour thing. It was like, you want to learn about how the Switch works? Here's this paid
I think
experience.
they
I'm like,
make it
no,
free.
it should have just been free included with the console.
Especially after the PlayStation game, like one game of the year with the little logo.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the back.
Astrobot's very good.
I didn't know
My
Astro.
friends are excited for. Oh, sorry, you, Audie.
I said I just didn't know Astrobots was included with the PlayStation as like an entry game. I never.
The original one. There
Is
was
it?
an
Okay.
original one, and then they came out with a sequel that was like a second game. But yeah, you had to get that one. But it was still just like I wanted to get the second one because the first one was actually good and included. So they kind of like earned my money there, I guess is what you should say. But yeah, I'm excited for a lot of the stuff this one's showing off. The Donkey Kong actually looked really cool. And it's not really a Switch game, but I'm very excited for Silk Song. They snuck that in there, so that was cool.
Tanner, I did interrupt you. What were you saying?
Oh, you're good. I was gonna say, yeah, my friends are excited about playing Silk Sonic. I heard. I don't play it. Only games I have are Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Scarlet Violet, and Smash Bros. But my friends are really excited about Silk Sonic or Silk, whatever it's called, and
Silk Song, yeah.
Basketball on Wheels. We're really excited to play wheelchair basketball. So those are our two games. Hopefully, will be games that we play. But other than that, but if they're gonna cost $80, like that's like you got to do like a down payment for that or something. That's tough.
It is tough. It is tough.
You're only gonna need one copy in the friend group, though, right?
Only for local.
For some of these, that's
only
true.
for local play. I think if you're playing online, you still need multiple copies.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like a if I catch NAIC kind of purchase. That's tough.
Well, I mean, but for going to tournaments, right? Like I never bought Mario Kart, but I always wanted to like play with my friends at tournaments, right? And you have to you find a TV and get docked and all that stuff to be able to do that. The fact that you now if we're just sitting in a circle or whatever in between rounds, we can just queue out Mario Kart is actually really cool.
That is actually so cool. Yeah, that feature does kick ass.
Mm-hmm. And I will push back a little bit about the price because, like, I get it, and it is. I know people are complaining about it. I don't really think it's a problem, just because if you look at the like inflation in the for every other good over the last like 5 years, right, since 2020, everything's gone up in price by more than 10%. Basically, we had 10% inflation in a year. Within the last 5 years, so like it is, it's kind of expected. It'd be surprising if they managed to keep it that low price. And I know people are railing on Nintendo for it, but like really, I am 100% sure that the next generation of Xbox and PlayStation games are also going to go up in price, just because like everything goes up in price. That's how the economy works, and especially recently, things have been going up in price.
Adi hates you guys and wants you to lose all your money, and he wants the rich to get richer. That's basically what I'm hearing. Wow, this guy disgusts me.
Right, and that's why I voted for the person who is currently shorting the market right now. Is because that way, I knew I was ahead of it. All right. All right. Every time I bring up politics, someone's like, "Yo, I watch these videos to escape politics." Like, no, we're talking about the Switch too. It actually is very topical right now.
It is very tied. It's like that's just the reality we live in.
Politics is real life. You can't actually you can't fully remove yourself from it. That's just you can pretend you can, but you never really can.
You mentioned politics a lot.
I also am very politically active, and I actually have worked on a political campaign in the past. So, and I've even in 2024 I was working with Indiana Democrats, and so I am very politically active. That's just who I am, and I think it's important to be to participate in your democracy. Otherwise, it's not really a democracy, which it might not be real soon. Anyways, moving on. We got the first Regulation I tour, the first really big one at least. We had a few on Limitless, but Victory Road hosted a big cash tour, 263 players. We have a couple of participants from it, and first and foremost, we got Mike, who you got all the way to third place with Miraidon Lunala. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what your thought process was going into this tour, and maybe a couple, what your experience was when you were playing this tour?
I guess I want to talk about how this team came to be, because it didn't come from Arubega like some people might think. I was originally testing Miraidon plus CSR plus Chiyu as like a really aggro core, and then it was Wim's Hands Farig. it was good into CS. It was really good into CSR Zama, and also it was not bad into rare Calyrex, but it just felt really volatile and one dimensional. So then I decided, what if I tried Lunala? It has very similar coverage, and I get, but instead it's bulky. And I found that it gave me a lot more flexibility. So I didn't have to just go vroom 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 tailwind and then die when my tailwind's done and then my opponent gets up theirs. Also, I had a big Zacian issue with CSR because I was using Sash CSR that wouldn't even two-shot other Zacians, which is really cursed. And also, since Lunala's there with Electric Seed, Farigiraf is like a Lunala, but it can't really do much damage and it can't click Wide Guard. So I'm like, that guy could be an Urshifu. And that's a team.
Yeah. It's
My run was really funny. I lost round 1 to fake out high roll plus low kick high roll crit in game 3 as I went for a trick room. Well, game plan was
this is actually I know that like some people have been looking at a few people have been looking at this combo, but I would say not that many. There's a lot more attention on other ones. I'm guessing you didn't play against any other Lunala Miraidons in your run, right?
I actually played against one, and I kind of clapped them.
Oh,
okay. That's not disrespectful, but it just ended like it somehow just ended up being. It just ended up really going my way. I went from 0-1 and I got hacked in my first round, and then I just didn't lose a set. I got lucky versus the one Zacian Kyogre because my opponent missed play rough.
Well, Zacian Kyogre is the team for people who want to miss moves, right? So it's not really that. that's the matchup you'd expect to get lucky in.
I have a Chiyu, I have a Draco Meteor. I want to miss too.
That's true.
My Chiyu only missed twice all tour though.
I played against Kian, who is a known Zacian player, and Kian Campbell, and they missed 3 play roughs against me.
I'm pretty sure you say
they were all very big.
But that's gonna come up later for my smart money. But so I won out all the way until top 4, and then I made like a really aggressive play. I played versus Miguel Paquette. I beat him in Swiss round 9, 2-0. And in top 4, I went for an aggressive read to try to get an edge. And I lost game 1 because of that. Game 2, I decided I'll go for the same thing. I got it right. And then game 3, I realized I don't really have to do that. And then I'm able to position. I go for a game-winning play as long as Sneasler Styreclaw doesn't para my Ursh, and it paras my Ursh.
Oh, I was gonna say it could have also maybe slept you, but I'm like, actually, maybe it couldn't have if electric terrain.
No. They let Miraidon sneeze. Okay, this is funny. I dropped Lunala every game against them. They dropped CSR every game against me. So you're playing Reg G.
I think that'll happen quite a bit more often than we realize in past formats. I don't know. It does feel sometimes like
in this case, it's correct from both ends. Like they have to bring Dozo, or else they just die to my Tailwind.
I think especially with looking at this team is going to bench restricted a lot because if you're bringing Dozo Tats, you have to otherwise exclusively bring Miraidon and Calyrex Shadow, which is not always the easiest combo to bring next to Dozo Tats.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah,
and both of these teams did feature Scarf Chiyu. I imagine Scarf Chiyu was pretty strong in your run.
Yeah, it's good versus CSR Zama. I only played versus 2, but I beat both of them.
And they ended up winning the whole tournament.
What?
Just that CSR Zama ended up winning the whole tournament. Is what I mean.
Yeah, I think in finals it was the fact that there's no Champo makes it a bit easier. But the one thing I was scared of, I wasn't confident in my CSR Zama matchup on day 2, even though I was able to beat it twice in day 1. Because CSR Zama, I think, it's like a neutral-ish matchup, but if I play against like a player who's probably better than me using CSR Zama, I feel like I just get cooked. Or at least that's what I thought would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
This team that ended up winning the whole thing is just so boring. I don't
Yeah.
know.
one of the only interesting teams in cut.
Well,
Audie, go ahead.
so okay, so I do have a take about this. Yes, this team is boring. Like obviously,
Yeah.
this is like the single easiest team to build in the entire format. This is literally like a regulation G team with the Zamazenta slapped on, over like what a Raging Bolt. I think these teams normally have.
Yeah.
But like, and
Yeah.
and the Raging Bolt is a flex slot. Like the Raging Bolt is a matchup mod for these teams. So it's so yeah, it is.
Thunderclap, it's just our first Shifu matchup. Well, there's Grassy Glide Firepon on this team.
That's true. Yeah, and you know, I think that like yes, this team is boring, and yes, it won the tournament. I think that the teams that did well by and large are the teams that are easier to build because we are 5 days into the format being announced, which means we are negative 25 days into the format. Right, we have 25 days away from the format even starting. So people are still exploring, and it turns out that like building an interesting team is hard and building a boring team is easy. Right. And so I'm not surprised that the most refined team of day one is Calyrex Shadow with the Goon Squad. That's everyone has built this team already once. And I think that the variants of this team are going to be prevalent throughout the format, but I think more people are going to figure out ways to beat this team as the format goes on and as we have a more developed threat list and a better idea of how to build out some of the other restricteds and figure out what has a better matchup into this.
Like I see people complaining that the format's already stale. Like chill, it's VR. It's just it's always European players bringing boring stuff. Like the format's gonna get interesting. We have an NA regional. We're gonna have some crazy stuff. Rajan Bell's gonna bring Doug Trio and win.
True.
I see chat calling this Audi Balance, and they are exactly correct. This is Audi Balance. Congratulations to Audi Balance for winning this tournament.
Not enough saying.
Where's the choice band Rillaboom? That was a really funny choice.
Oh man, that's my baby. I love choice band Rillaboom.
I wanted to say one more thing about my run because it was really insane. In top 16, I played the dumbest endgame ever. I had full HP Lunala versus full HP Sash Bundle, so it was completely in my favor. They freeze dry freeze me, and since they have Hydro Pump, and they figure, what if they unfreeze early? They go for Hydro Pump, and they miss 3 in a row before I eventually wake up.
Oh no,
that's crazy.
I think if they just spammed freeze dry, they would have ended up winning, but they were scared of the early unfreeze.
Get out of here! Get out of here! You're an instant Rilla player.
Mont like, oh, I just found my Milwaukee team. He's so
Mont has the best instant Rilla Ursh result in Reg G.
That is funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
I think that might track. It might track. Honestly, I'm not going to doubt it too much.
I'm not going to check. Wait, no, that can't be right. Because didn't PatCon win internets with it?
Oh right, but I was thinking of Rilla Ursh CSR.
Yeah, with CSR.
Sure, yeah. If you make it more specific, yeah.
All right, and then
I see the treads.
So before we talk about the rest of the teams, I do want to let Alex talk about his run because you streamed the entire thing. You can watch the VODs on our Twitch channel. But you used 2 of your most hated Pokemon, Calyrex Shadow and Dondozo. You come over to the dark side. Tell us about your experience playing this weekend.
Well, listen. This is only one of my most hated Pokemon because I've said this so many times. Solo Dozo is not the same. It's not the same. Like he's innocent. He's innocent. Like I've always said that since Scarlet and Violet started. Like Dondozo just feels like they gave us like water type, physically defensive Snorlax, and that's like really cool. A cool niche, at least coming from like Sun and Moon when Snorlax was meta, and there was a couple different things you could do for it. But yeah, Ting Dozo. People want to call Ting Dozo cringe. I'm still not going to fight that hard against it because like the playstyle is a very annoying one. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it and basically just took like Dawe had success with Ting Dozo Shadow Rider, and then Was it Elizabeth, I think, originally had success with Tingdozo Zamazenta. Not to be confused with the Tingdozo Ice Rider team that they ended up building later. But yeah, just kind of like mashed those two concepts after encountering it on ladder from Gerald to Thigh 4. And so I just like, kind of like ripped it, made some edits, and ran it the way that I wanted. And it was fun. I mean, I think it was mostly uh, a testament to how strong Shadow Rider Zamazenta are. They cover each other super well. And Pollen Puff is very fun. Pollen Puff is a tech on Shadow Rider that I think more people should explore. I don't think Nasty Plot's very good in Reg I. I think that like several people have kind of already started to like talk about how it's a little bit harder to make plot work because you don't get as many like free turns, and so Shadow Rider learns a bunch of other good moves like Encore or Disable or Pollen Puff. Pollen Puff's the fun one because it's coverage against things like dark types that resist your stabs, and it also hits like Indeedee and Giraffe, so it can be pretty cool. On top of the fact that it can heal your friends, and the team is very bulky. So Pollen Puff, I did it like once or twice, honestly, to like heal my friends. But I definitely used it to hit some other things. I played against a Brute Bonnet. It was really helpful there. Brute Bonnet's quadruple weak to bug. Yeah, I don't know. The team is like very solid. I think most of my. Go ahead.
I played against a spec CSR that pollen puffed Iron Hands.
Like, oh, their Iron Hands or your Iron Hands?
Their Iron Hands.
Yeah. See, I mean, they're a little bit more committed than I am because when I click Pollen Puff, I don't have to click it again if I don't want to.
I think I was running Shadow Ball because in the CSR Zombie, I figured I could chunk other CSR in front of Wet Guard. Well, on the old team.
On the previous,
gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that the team was fun. I did have Fissure. I clicked some Fissures, but honestly, I mostly clicked the Fissures against a Dozo Tots team that I played. And speaking of Dozo Tots, I don't think we actually talked enough about the runner-up team. That team disgusts me and makes me so sad that we can still see teams like this do well.
No wheezing, I'll take it.
I also think Dozo is kind of an early format menace. It has to pick its spots a little bit, because if it's like Dozo has the problem where as soon as it's in the meta, if there are sufficient checks to it, people will attack for it, right? And so I'm not like too worried about Dozo, but you know it'll come and go, and that's just kind of how Dozo is. I will say, with Lunala being one of the more common Pokemon now, Lunala does ignore Unaware, which is cool with Moongeist Beam. So if you give Lunala a boost, you can hit through it that way pretty hard, which is an additional out. You can Draco Meteor with Miraidon as well, and so I feel like your team probably, and you said you beat it in Swiss, probably had a pretty good matchup into the.
I dropped Lunala against it.
Yeah, you don't have a way to boost your Lunala either, which makes it a little less good.
No, I just go Whimsicott, Urshifu, Miraidon, Chiyu.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Dozo, we say that, but with people dropping Urshifu, I say that like Urshifu wasn't actually all over this tournament. We thought maybe its usage would go down. But no, okay, never mind. Holy crap, I had so much more Urshifu than I thought. I take it all back. Yeah, no, Dozo's still around. I don't know. It's one thing I will say, I am surprised by the lack of Amoonguss. There is not a single Amoonguss in top cut, and that is usually the bane of the
There's one right there.
Fourth? Oh, there is. Never mind. There is one Amoonguss in top cut, and there's a Brute Bonnet in top cut. But yeah, I really thought Amoonguss would be a lot more common than it was at this tournament.
Yeah, in terms of like overall meta trends, I think the things that we got kind of wrong are like, first off, you see Terapagos appear pretty early on from Marco Fierro there in 6th. And yeah, ended up you'll see that it appears again 10th, 13th, 14th. What's that one meme, like my death was greatly exaggerated or whatever. Yeah, and like I'm 100% totally comfortable admitting that I was very wrong about it. I was very much in the camp that was like, Terapagos is going to be super mid in this format. But the thing about Terapagos, I was actually kind of talking about this with ESM the other night, is that it it just like the most important thing in this format is picking two restricteds that one has high Terra priority and the other one has very low Terra priority. And wouldn't you guess it, the one that has the like one of the lowest Terra priorities in the format is Shadow Rider. That's kind of why it's everywhere. Its natural typing is yes, exploitable, but with a focus sash, you kind of just say, I don't care if you hit me super effectively. I'm going to be faster than everything and immune to fake out, and it's going to be fine. And so then you pair that with Shadow Rider, or sorry, with Terapagos, and that was its most common partner, Terapagos, the Shadow Rider ones. Yeah, this one ended up being Life Orb.
Were the other guys Sash?
I think the
Okay,
Sash Wisp one seems pretty popular.
Yeah.
I think
Sash.
I think the Wisp one is the best one because you can Wisp Zama for Pagos.
I ended up playing against one and losing to it, I think, in my win-in, and they whisked my Zamazenta. I body pressed the turtle's like Terra Shell, and after Grassy Trade and leftovers, it healed it off. Like it just went back to full, and I was like, "Oh God, I'm in trouble." My Zamazenta's supposed to beat this turtle, and it very much doesn't anymore.
This is what we get for calling Pagos a fraud.
I guess so. And so yeah, it's looking like it's actually going to be a very stable threat in this format. Go ahead, sorry.
I played against Koraidon Pagos round 10.
Is that the maybe the 10th place finisher?
Yeah, it was.
All right.
Yeah, and that's kind of a
Life Orb.
a
Yeah,
funky one.
I think Life Orb is the best Koraidon set in Reg I, because you get to like being allowed to Oko Miraidon, for example, is really good.
Yeah.
Like I was forced to play to a game plan where I had to trade my Miraidon for their Koraidon, and then work from there.
Bike.
Yep.
A lot of people are going to have to trade their Miraidon for Koraidon going into this format because you're going to need to be able to swap between the two of them. Good thing the game gives you two. Kind of funny that way. But yeah, I think that talking about again general meta trends. So Pagos kind of up. I think Ice Rider and what is it? Ice Rider and Swordfish both kind of saw a bit of a lackluster run.
Ice Rider does that every victory road, right? Like I don't
think
Ice Rider's ever had
Ice Rider's, I think Ice Rider's fraudulent right now, though. I think Miraidon Lunala is better than Miraidon Calyrex. That's my hot take.
Dude, like, don't give Justin Burns an Iron Hands, a Miraidon, a Fire Pawn, and a Calyrex. Like that whole team is so fire.
That's not really that good.
No, we had the conversion rates too, right? And you can see that Miraidon Ice Rider did okay. It didn't do.
There were two in cut. Like it's still okay. It's not completely fraudulent. Like it's still good. It's still good.
Oh no, it is. It is absolutely going to be around.
Japan's gonna figure it out, and it's gonna win Worlds somehow. I think Japan's like really heavy on. I think they won Mirai Calyrex won a Japanese tour. I think there's Grimmsnarl on there too.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different ways to build this format. Like Frostmoth is one thing that is definitely going to pick up a lot.
And why is that, Alex? What does Frostmoth do into the metagame?
So Frostmoth, well, the thing is, it's the mirror breaker. So that's the thing is like you've got this ability to naturally wall Ice Rider. Not only can you wide guard its Glacial Lances, but you resist Glacial Lance and you resist high horsepower. And then you've got the Ice Scales to tank attacks from other Miraidons. You know what? Maybe Calca's right. I'll calc how much Electro Drift's doing to Frostmoth later. But we got Ice Scales. Ice Scales is basically AV. You take the hits excellently.
It's better.
Yeah, exactly.
I played against the Frostmoth Goggles team at San Antonio the first round of day 2, and it was like
hard to go.
Duskmane. I had Calyrex. It had Duskmane and Frostmoth with Goggles, and I was like, I can't.
Immersion?
Yeah, I was like, I can't sleep it. I can't Glacial. I honestly don't even know how I won that set. That was the most ridiculous thing of all time. Like, I slept him on like the second to last turn of Trick Room, and he turn 1 waked and then double protected out of Trick Room in front of my Calyrex, and I was like, that's all she wrote. And then I like killed him with CC. That was like the only their only round CC was like super fire. Frostmoth is ridiculous. It's such a matchup mon, but like where it's good, it's super good. And like here, being able to quiver or wide guard if they ignore you and you quiver, like you're +1 defense, +1 special defense, +1 speed, +1 special attack. Like,
oh yeah, I was testing Frostmoth in Reg G Part 1 of Kyogre as a Rillaboom Raging Bolt counter.
Oh yeah, that's funny. I mean, the more conventional Chen Pao is probably going to have a little bit, better mileage, but like I don't think it's not a bad idea to try some of these fun ones.
As long as there was no Fire Pawn or Chi-Yu. Actually, I think Frostmoth could change. I think Frostmoth lived Heat Wave from Chi-Yu in the rain without needing to Terra.
Oh, this thing also has to watch out for rock moves. I forgot that it's just like still
Oh, yeah.
quad weak, just like Volcarona.
That's all right. There's no rock
not a good
Pokemon.
thing.
I mean, there's Cornerstone, but all right.
I think
That
it's
is
worse now.
that is honestly more than we should have talked about Frostmoth. Also, by the way,
right.
while we're on the topic of Frostmoth, Lunala, Moongeist Beam just ignores Ice Scales, which is also so funny.
Yo!
That's why I used Lunala Frostmoth counter.
The Frostmoth counter, yeah.
Makes sense.
All right.
Wait, why are we talking about that? Like, you could just also meat beam them to fucking
Yeah, that's what I was
death.
thinking. Like, guess the calc 500%.
It's gonna miss the couple.
It does miss.
We're just gonna do 4 Frostmoth calcs later. Just 4 different Frostmoth
I have
calcs.
a really funny calc.
Good.
Unfortunately,
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
3 Frostmoth calc.
Anyways, going back to the Miraidon Ice Rider players, I do think like this was one of the I think 2 or 3 big threats that people kind of anticipated going into the format. It was second in usage and underperformed relative to that, but I still think that like it is one of the harder ones to build out, and the fact that you have a Miraidon on the team, especially now, you have access to every single Cork Drive Pokemon. You have a lot of options on the team as compared to Calyrex, Shadows, and Magenta, which has a lot fewer options, I think. And so it's going to take a little while for people to figure it out. And I do want to pull up the team from Hyungwoo Shin, who used double Cork Drive on their team with Iron Hands and Iron Bundle. And I really like the fact that you can reuse Focus Sash on one of your Cork Drive mons. I was testing out a Focus Sash Iron Valiant, for example, on these type of teams. For speed control, Bundle having a great speed tier to threaten Calyrex Shadow being the big scary guy in the format, makes it does something that a lot of these other Calyrex Ice Miraidon teams didn't have, where you have something faster than Calyrex Shadow, and that is just so important for these teams, I think.
Yeah, I play this in top 16 with the dumb endgame. Yeah, normally my Mirai Cali Ice matchup is pretty chill, but Bundle really complicated things.
Yeah. I think Bundle's a cool Pokemon, and like Adi said, there's a lot of other cool Cork Drive modes. We're just gonna see like all of them in action quite a bit more. I mean, some of these teams are running Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet actually made top 8. I don't think we looked at that team exactly. But yeah, I think Brute Bonnet's like in a really cool spot, especially if every team's gonna be running Shadow Rider. It's like, I know that we've talked about the differences between this and Amoonguss in the past, and Amoonguss is generally going to be a better. But like, imagine if your Amoonguss could just sucker punch Oko, the opposing Shadow Rider, if need be. Like that's going to be helpful sometimes, right?
It's an insane defensive stat ball. It has better defense. It has better bulk than Amoonguss, and with Proto Defense, it genuinely tanks body press surprisingly well.
Yeah.
I think you have the option to do Proto Special Defense too. Like you can kind of just tailor it to your needs, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adi, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You can do Proto Attack, Proto Defense, Proto Spadef. It's very flexible as a Pokemon. And yeah, like, I think this is
Not
exactly
Proto Speed.
Not Proto Speed. Thank God it's not Proto Speed. Anyways, I think you're right. I think that again, Calyrex Shadow Koraidon was the other archetype that I think we had ranked really highly, that we expected to be very good, and it did okay in this tournament. I don't know what the conversion rate was for Cali Shadow Koraidon.
Calyrex Koraidon.
It did okay. But I do think that, like, actually, for what it's worth, it had 3 representatives in day 2, and 2 of them top cut, which is also pretty good. But it's just like, it's one of the teams that's, you have a lot of options. You have so many photosynthesis mods, so many fire types that you can test on this team. You have it's really hard to figure out the optimal way to build a Caridon team when you have all these different options to put next to it, and when you're 5 days into a new format, it's gonna be really hard to make this
5 days
perfect.
after they announced,
Mhm.
for sure.
But yeah, so
What were you
that's
saying,
kind of my take. Tanner, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just saying this was didn't they announce this like the day the format released, like at the beginning of the week?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I was talking to Pearl and I was like, how did you think of the EVs? And he was like, oh, just night before the tournament, just moving sliders. And I was like, oh, like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second place. I guess like if there's a sneaker, there's a way, but I do like that team a lot. I think it's super cool.
I do think to push back a little bit on your tub take is that like while this is like a format that was very fresh 5 days out, it also at the same time is something that we've been like seeing coming for a good while. You know, a lot of people have been playing it in grassroots and stuff like that just because they're just so bored of Reg G and expecting this to be the next one.
Quick shout out to the Discord server that was just running.
Mhm.
I was testing in there before Red Guy was announced.
Right. So like a lot of people got an early sneak preview at like, you know, what was going to be, you know, good or not. And like, you know, maybe some things were accurate, maybe some things weren't. You know, I think people wouldn't have been beating down on Pagos so much if the people were trying it a lot in the you know, in the pre-Reg I announcement stages. But yeah, now that we're actually here and it's good. I don't know, there's a lot of like weird things happening in this meta that we definitely didn't expect exactly. So that is the cool part. It's crazy how fast we develop metagames now with how online everything is in modern VGC that like we're gonna be like 2 or 3 like grassroots tournaments deep before we even get to Milwaukee or something, and that's really gonna impact what actually shines there. But we'll have to see.
My hot take, Paga's still not very good. I still think it's overrated.
Okay.
I think it's good.
I think that when you're looking at this top cut graphic, man, where basically every team has a Caridon, a Zamazenta, or like in Mike, in your case, like double fighting type, right? Like in you know, so you see the other Calyrex Ice Maridon team also had double fighting type. Like every single team here in top cut at least looks like packed to the brim with ways to beat to beat Terapagos. And so I know it's good at pinning Terramons. I do see the synergy with Calyrex Shadow. I think that this Pokemon is overrated, and I think it's going to fall off in usage. It's just I just don't see it. I just don't see it sticking around. It'll be around, but I do think it's going to be at a significantly lower usage than it was at this tournament.
Don't underestimate the Terapagos grinders.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, people will do anything to play Incineroar, Ursh, just the most boring things, you know. Shout outs to Sadvi, because when I tweeted out like, you know, Dondozo's still doing well, Terapagos is still doing well, this might be the worst format of all time, he was like defending my take against some of the like Europeans that were pushing back on it. They're like, there's no way you compare Dondozo to Balance, and he's like, it's the same thing. They're the same team. I was like, this is awesome.
You're drawing out games as long as possible on purpose with both.
Basically, am I gonna switch to Tatsu Giri? Am I gonna protect? Am I gonna fake out, or am I gonna U-turn? You know, like it's the same thing.
Like toxic and Terra Starster, like same damage.
Kind of true. Yeah, right.
All right, Tanner. I'm gonna let you pick the next team we talk about because we got a bunch of teams to go through.
Let's see what looks cool. We already talked about Zamazenta and that. Can we let's just look at one of the Calyrex Ice teams. I don't care which one. I do want to talk about. That's my baby. Like I will defend that until I die. Let's just look at one of them.
Well, we looked at the
11th one.
We looked at the bundle
one. Okay, let's look at this one then. See, like I think I kind of agree with your guys. Like any court drive mon, because the first one I thought of was like Jugulis, and I think every tournament Jugulis is like day one man. Like, oh, this is super cool with this and this and this, and it just kind of falls off.
I think Jugulis is better now. Like I
Yeah,
think Jugulis,
I totally do. Like you're snarling, and then like I
when
always
people
want to.
fell off, like
Yeah, and I mean you
suddenly
could
it
be sash now. Like you don't have to
Mhm.
be covert. You should probably be covert. I just think that Calyrex Ice gets like significantly better this format because, or I don't know, because just Miraidon's so like you can just volt switch off an instant and it's gone, and then you can just, or you can just like have. I just like being able to take kills with your pivots as opposed to like just having a slow instant to drop them and make it a little bit easier for when Calyrex Ice comes in seems so much better. Like if I could volt switch off of an Urshifu, kill it, and get my raging and get my Cali in so I can like fire because like I think that Ice Calyrex is like objectively the best Terra in a world with no Urshifu. Like if there was no Urshifu, like no one would ever run water. But now that you can just like volt switch off of them into like, because probably every Ursh is going to be Scarf. Like I doubt we see that much Sash or like Mystic now that everything's hitting a little bit harder and like you have Calyrexes that have Psychic,
Sash is still
EC.
good, but I think Mystic Water is not going to see any use.
Yeah.
I think
I think
Mystic's
they're
got
either going to be
time.
Sash or Scarf. But I think like most teams have a better Sash user. Like right here, like Pelly is significantly
Agreed.
better.
Yeah, Mystic for
Like
sure.
your Cork Drive Mon is always going to want to have Sash. I mean, depending on what it is. Like you're not going to give a Sash to Iron Hands. But I just think
Three coaching
having a
targets.
Miraidon and a Calyrex lead and then volt switching into your hands, and it's like, dude, when I was playing Arubega for like 3 days before Atlanta, I guess it's still before Atlanta, but like a couple of weeks ago, like let's be serious. Iron Hands is like has 300 attack in like electricity. Like that's just a little insane. And then just having Ice Rider to pressure the Rillaboom, like because a lot of people just will just keep Rillaboom in the back and swap it in so they always have terrain on turn one. And it's just like swap it in on my glacial. I don't know. I think Miraidon Ice Rider is just like the most nasty thing ever. I know that like it
Right.
didn't perform as well in this, but like it never does well in Victory Road. The Victory Road before San Antonio, I was like ready to drop Ice Rider because I was like, no, this thing's a fraud. And then it like gets first and second in whatever place I got in the next tournament. I just think it's cool. I'm also just like an Ice Rider merchant, so I'm always gonna try to like find a way for it to be good. But I think Miraidon makes it so much better because it's always good with the fast mode. Like with like Burns' team at LA and Burns' team at NAIC, I guess it's the same team. But like the Urshifu being like a little bit faster was like so good. And now you have like just this super fast thing that can like take kills as it's going out as you set Trick Room. Like it's just nasty. And there's so many more. Like
Yep.
it's just a variant way to play the game. Like I can drift and glacial. I can volt swap Trick Room. Like it just seems like you create a board state where like you don't have like there's no drawbacks for you and your opponent can just lose instantly. So I think that's just like always a good thing if you're playing something that's slower.
So
Yeah. One cool tech you have on this team is the Tailwind Pelipper. So in theory, you can just randomly go fast.
So I want to push back a little bit. I do think this combo is very strong. I still think it's the second or third best combination right now behind CSR Zama. But my one concern is that if you're running Miraidon Ice Rider, you do not have an Astral Barrage resist. And if you look at this team, it does not have a single Astral Barrage resist. And it only has one Pokemon that goes faster than Astral.
It's Wide Guard.
We talked about this. There's only one restricted that resists Astral Barrage, so you can't flame the restricted pairing for not having an Astral Barrage resist. Like, yes, you can fit them on the rest of the team, and this team failed to do that. Yes, I get that, but you're using that as to discredit the combo of Ice Rider Miraidon. Yes, they don't resist Astral Barrage. Tell me a pairing that doesn't have Terravicos that resists Astral Barrage.
No, you're right. I'm just saying that like the fast mode is less threatening when you don't outspeed Calyrex Shadow. And also Calyrex Ice is weak to Calyrex Shadow.
But like they're not Life Orb. They can't run Life Orb really. They have to be Jolly. Or not Jolly, whatever the special attack one is. So like that can be our guess the calc on Calyrex Ice like Terra. That's like 30%. Like that's not gonna like break the bank. I know it's like not like it's not the best thing ever, but like it's not hitting that hard, right? Like if it's not
run Life Orb though. You said that they can't run Life Orb. I think Life Orb did end up winning the tournament.
Did it really? Good lord. Well, I was just thinking like you get like you just protect Volt Switch and kill. No, I mean I guess Volt Switch doesn't kill it, but like Sucker.
No actual resist. No, unless you Terra Dark.
So that is the biggest flaw of that team from Roberto is I'm just like I don't really know how it deals with like Fake Out plus Astral Barrage, and Fake Out plus Astral Barrage did win the tournament. So
Well, it's Terra Ghost.
it's got a Terra Ghost. Terra Ghost Ursh definitely can help.
I
Um,
I like the Hyunwoo's team a lot more personally. I think it's so much cooler, and I think it has more counterplay to the best combo in the format. So that's the version that I would look towards building. Go ahead.
I want to talk about a different Ice Rider team, Audi, in 22nd from everyone's favorite ladder cheater, Johnny Cho. Honestly, okay. I do want to talk like a little bit of smack, just like, while we're here. We don't normally get into like heavy drama on VGC on Top Takes, but like he posted that like he cheated to get his 90% GXC on ladder. Then like 3 days later posts the like, rental code for this team. Like, here's my Reg Eye Hard Trick Room rental, like 200 likes. Like everyone's just like, oh, I forgive you, dude. You're the Hard Trick Room goat. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? It's just so yeah, like literally, Adi, you just have like apology statement.
He is not
Hard Trick Room rental, dude. It's just we keep it moving. All right, guys, I see how it is, VGC Twitter.
I know this. I know this as a like YouTuber. I understand that if you post a rental code in your video, it doubles your view count. That's all there is to it. There's only people don't care who you are. They don't care what you do. They only want one thing, and it's disgusting. They just want rental codes to try out. That's it. That's all they want.
That's true.
Okay. Let me actually branch off of that, Audi, into another fun tangent. ESM was talking to me, and he's like, dude, I feel like the Reg I ladder population has almost doubled since Victory Road, just because there's sample teams to take from it now. And it's just like, God, are people that bots? All right,
yes.
I'm not gonna get carried away.
No, like legitimately,
yes, of course.
Yeah, it's people don't know. It's a whole other tangent. People don't know how to team build anymore, man. They don't. It's like 5 people team building.
Yes, it's true. It's true. The last team builder. Oh my god, dude! It's straight up. Adi's gonna have to make like a YouTube video called "The Last Team Builder." The only person who builds teams anymore. Everybody else just waits until that one guy builds a team, and then we steal it.
Right. That guy, of course, being Wolfglick, right?
Yes, Wolf.
Yeah, and then we steal it.
Yeah.
Paris, Gothitelle 100% usage.
Everyone's just playing the same team. That's what VGC is in 2099. Okay, so yeah, the thing about this team, Adi, that I want to mention is like, yes, it's not doing anything brand new that we didn't see in Reg G from similar hard trick room approaches. Basically, this is just like, I think the only other way that we're gonna see Cali Ice. I don't think Cali Ice seems to be amazing with most other restricted partners that are not dedicated to Trick Room. You could run Palkia, you could run Necrozma Dawnwings, you could run Lunala, all for a bit more of a Trick Room focus. I think if you want to run Balance, you're like, something closer to Balance, it's probably going to be Miraidon. Other than that, I think Cali Ice is probably not going to see as many other partners. I think that like Kyogre and Zamazenta are niche, Koraidon kind of niche. But yeah, I think that the hard Trick Room approach, people are going to be experimenting with different ways to fill this out, and it's going to look a lot like this with maybe a Terra type difference, or a different flavor of hard Trick Room restricted like Lunala or Palkia or Necrozma Dawnwings. You maybe change one Pokemon, get a Torkoal or an Ursaluna Gutsbear in there, but like for the most part, I think teams like this will stick around.
Yeah, I was definitely very interested in building out Ice Rider Lunala, or which his team is, of course, or I saw multiple YouTube videos that were playing Ice Rider Dawnwings, and they looked very cool. And so that is a combo that I think is going to see a lot of success this format. Like I really do think Ice Rider Hard Trick Room just got better in this format. We'll see if, and especially if teams are just trying to go fast with Calyrex Shadow. As a Calyrex Shadow player in Reg G, oh my god, Trick Room is so hard to beat. And so I really think that that might be one of the that is definitely going to be a very solid meta call at some point if Calyrex Shadow usage gets too high. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to. There's a lot of teams. It's a brand new format. We could legitimately talk about all of these teams. I'm going to pick out one of the restricteds that we haven't talked about yet, that I think everyone is very excited to use. A lot of people are very excited to use, and that is Zacian. That Mirai used to get. I think this is Carlos Cabal. used to get top 8 at this tournament. Yes, it's a kind of boring comp outside of this. There are some cool choices. The imprisoned Calyrex Shadow is very funny. Knowing how they want to win the mirror. This is Mystic Water Ursh. We just said Mystic Water Ursh wasn't going to be around. Here it is, top 8.
Right.
But yeah, no, I really think that Zacian was a Pokemon that we thought would be pretty good this format. All of a sudden, being able to be the second restricted. If you look down here, you see the Zacian Kyogre was the 4th most used combination of restricted Pokemon, and it did very poorly. I'm trying to find where they finished in day 2, because only 2 made day 2. So yeah, it's 19th and 23rd. So not a single one converted into top cut, but Zacian Calyrex Shadow did get all the way to top 8. Any thoughts about Zacian as a Pokemon?
It's everywhere on Showdown. Like it feels like it has like 40% usage minimum. Every time I go on ladder, I see this thing everywhere.
I think that currently, the funny thing going on with Zacian right now is that unlike our previous experience with double restricted Zacian in Sword and Shield, it doesn't get to have as much fun with its EV spreads. You know, we saw so many different EV spreads for Zacian back in those days because there wasn't as much of a high population of Pokemon in the like 130 range. You know, like Zacian, it's very fast. But right now, you really want your Zacian to outspeed the bikes, to outspeed the Chen-Pows, Flutter if it doesn't have a booster or energy or anything like that. But yeah, that means that Zacian's like a lot more limited to just kind of being a glass cannon when it really appreciated being able to run some of those bulk spreads back in Sword and Shield. I feel like those spreads were the most annoying ones to deal with. When you ran into the glass one, I don't know, maybe this is just me being like a person who generally plays like slower teams and stuff like that. Maybe it's really annoying when you're playing offense and it's outspeeding everything. But yeah, right now I think that's the big thing.
You don't think we're going to see a resurgence in bulkization? Because I definitely think that that's going to come back.
Oh, it could happen.
It's just got such a good defensive typing that it just lends itself to being bulky so well, and it has a decent speed stat even without really investing in speed and going at it.
But I think you have to apply pressure to Miraidon, right? Like you have to apply.
That's pretty much it.
Because
you have Rilla. Most Miraidons are you have Rilla. I'd be more worried about Koraidon because you'd be forced to lead Torn, and if they have Raging Bolt, then it's like, okay, your supposed Koraidon counter is just not a counter. But Raging Bolt's down usage, so I guess you can get away with it.
Yeah, like what you were saying. In 22, we didn't have any Chen-Pao, no bikes, so like nothing was 205. So 205 max, and because we could just run like 170 something Zacian, and then like you can switch it out too, which is cool. It's like an offensive swap in, and you get the boost still. Yeah, it just kind of sucks now. I do agree about the like you have to kind of be faster than Miraidon to force the Terra, or like what are you doing with it?
Yo, is that Mirai in chat right now? Thank you.
How you doing? Congrats on your finish.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, I pretty much just in agreement. I played. I've been like testing out my Miraidon team on the ladder, and I just saw like, oh, my electric terrain got set up before their not sort of ruin. Their what is the name of it again?
Intrepid Sword.
Intrepid Sword.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this game just got 8 times easier. Like I just click Electro Drift into them.
And like pinning your guy, like pinning your Terra still with like B-Blade Play Rough, like it's just that's what it has to be. It has to be faster than Miraidon, I think. But I'm not a team building expert, but I just think.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. What did it have to outspeed back in the Sword and Shield days? I don't know. Like it's not really that important, but I guess there was Thundurus.
Yeah.
Thundurus.
You had to hit Thundy hard,
which is like
not really.
I think some still went slower than the Thunduruses though, but like Thundurus, and then like definitely outspeeding Charizard.
I remember
Thundurus. Right.
I remember in one of the like first Victory Road tours of 2022, I played a Gotti in top 4, and we both had Zacian, and I was running like super fat slow Zacian, and I outsped his, and he was running that stupid slow like 4-speed Zacian the entire format, and he got second at NAIC with it.
Yeah, I think 180 was a good place to be. Like, or doesn't Thundurus go 179? Yeah,
something like that.
I think so.
That's a good spot. I think that was like the correct spot for bulky.
180
Unless
is
you
now
wanted-
Zamazenta.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you got to outspeed that too.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
another thing. We're kind of back to seeing Sacred Sword being good again. I feel like it didn't use Sacred Sword much in Reg G, usually because you kind of just like dedicated our Shifu to doing that kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
critting through defenses and using fighting type attacks.
Mhm.
But now it's a bit more important for your Zacian to be able to hit the increasing amount of Zamazentas, as well as like being able to chip some of those things that maybe your Shadow Rider wants to get coverage for, or your whatever other restricted it's paired with, and we're going to see a couple of different pairings for Zacian. It's not as flexible as some of the other ones, but yeah, it can be paired with like Pagos, Kyogre, maybe even Miraidon. I think probably Miraidon. We haven't seen any Koraidon ones, but I think that somebody did that early in Japan. So yeah, we'll have to see. Time will tell for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, with Walking Wake, right? I think I saw that team report.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all right. I'm going to close about a bunch of tabs, and then I'm popcorning it over to Mike. I'm going to give everyone one more shot to pick a team. It doesn't have to be on the screen right now. If you've got this pulled up, it's all in the topic doc. What team do you want to talk about from day 2 of this tournament?
Dude, the rest of them are boring. Although, wait, 30th looks kind of cool.
Well, it's not your turn. You can save it for your turn.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think you looked at
Let
30th.
me open up Victory Run.
Yeah, pull it up. Alex, you're 30th. I figure.
Yes, you got
Yeah,
it.
gotta put
Oh
that
wow,
out.
you got me. You got me. Yeah.
Let's see this.
I think we talked about
Venusaur.
most of the fun teams in Top Cut at this point. So I am down to look at some of the cooler day 2
I
teams.
think. Did we talk about? I think we talked about Koraidon Pagos. There's this Treads team with Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, let's talk about the Treads team. This is what I was saying when I was saying like, yeah, you can figure out like all the fun Miraidon partners. We saw Miraidon Treads do well in Regulation G. We got second at EUIC. And yeah, now it's back. Now it's here. So Mike, you wanted to talk about this team. What do you think about it?
Treads is like really fun in the mirror. Calyrex mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that everyone's like the big comp is like CSR Zama with Rilla. I mean, how much does because you could steal Ruler Life Orb CS. You could switch in your Miraidon and then steal Ruler CSR and Oko it.
Mhm.
That's a really hard setup, but it sounds really funny. I think Screens is like Screen. Okay, this is Covert Clay. This is not even Light Clay. That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't have any other way to stop fake out,
Yeah, I think a lot
I'm
of
just teasing.
a lot of what people were talking about in early format was like using Grimmsnarl to bulk out. I tested Grimmsnarl at some point. I didn't. I thought it was a bit inconsistent, especially versus Mons that you can't Thunder Wave.
Mhm.
But Grimmsnarl is always like if you have like a really fast offense team, you can always get shut down by Grimmsnarl. Like I know a lot of people are building stuff inspired by 2022, and Grimmsnarl was really good in 2022. Maybe we'll see comps like it back. Maybe Joe makes like a Reg I version of his Reg G team, and he pops off.
I think I got top 8.
There was
Um,
there was one like that.
We should have talked about this. But
We're talking about it right now. Yeah.
yeah, because this is like the Grimmsnarl. This is literally just Joe's team, but Zama over Urshifu.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so. The main thing about this team and the other team that I don't know if we talked enough about yet is just like Ditto is really strong. I think both of these Dittos add different Terras too, which is funny. One is Ghost and one is normal, and I think you'll probably see a little bit of both, depending on how you want to use your Shadow Rider that you copied. That's one of the biggest purposes. Do you want to blast them with a really strong, even stronger Astral Barrage that they hit you with, or do you want to completely immune their Astral Barrage? That's the beauty of Ditto. Ghost is a little more flexible for other purposes. Normal is a little bit more one-dimensional.
Yeah, it's really good into Zama too. Like in
Yes.
Reg G, a lot of like for NAIC team with Ditto, like a lot of Reg G teams that are Zamas that just struggle into like +2 Ghost Zama that's going fast. So I think
Yeah.
having that for Ghost and having it for like Astral Stellar or not Stellar Astral with like Terra Boost is good.
Me, when I spend 10 turns using Instant War and Rillaboom to position my CSR just for it to get stolen by Ditto.
Right?
Mhm.
I've definitely had that in some of my latter games where I've like positioned poorly and I'm just like, all right, well, Chatterratter, you can just take 2 kills. Go ahead, man. We'll see how this speed tie ends up working out next turn.
Yeah, but now this Ditto's Focus Dash, so if your
Yes.
CSR is down in one hit, like the worst case scenario is you break their sat, you get them down a sash, but they just like at worst case, you can outplay them and they can still force a speed tie.
Yeah, it's disgustingly like it's a the thing I like to say about Ditto is that it's a disgustingly high floor to have on any team. Like, the floor of your matchups can
It's
sometimes
really
just
hard.
be a 50-50 speed tie. And like, you obviously we want to win our games more than 50%. We want our ceiling to be much higher than
It
just
sounds a
flipping
lot
coins
like
every
it sounds
single
like
game.
it
But having
sounds a
your
lot
floor be
like
50%,
it sounds like Joe spamming sleep powder. Like, oh hey, bad matchup, I'll just click sleep powder a bunch and hope it works.
Mhm.
Ironically,
Yeah.
Ironically, this is Joe UX9 team again.
Yeah. I do want to, before we Alex is telling me we got to move on from this tournament. He said there's no more interesting teams, but I actually want to talk about one more thing, which is like some of the things that we didn't see. We touched on Amoonguss very briefly, but I'm looking at some of the things, and we touched on how Station Kyogre kind of underachieved, but I'm noticing there was a distinct lack of Groudon in day 2. In fact, I think there are 0 Groudon in day 2. Which is really surprising. And I think Alex, you might be the only Raging Bolt in day 2 as well, which is kind of crazy.
Wait, that's gotta be fake. Okay, if I have 28th has one near me.
Okay, I think that's it.
That might be it though.
I did a quick skim through. I didn't see any others. Yeah.
I didn't get the memo that if you liked Raging Bolt and Reg G that you're supposed to upgrade it to a bike. I guess I don't know. But I already had 2 restricteds. I couldn't get them. If I could have them right on, I probably wouldn't actually. It stops my yawn from Dondozo.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. But I do want to quickly ask: is Groudon washed?
Was this guy ever not washed?
Okay, well,
you're talking about the greatest Pokemon in VGC history.
I mean Scarlet Violet. SV, I mean.
Yeah. For Scarlet Violet, I figured that's what you meant. Yeah.
What's its best finish in SV? Like top 16 LA? I know like
no,
it got top
4. Got top 4, top 8 at a regional. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Birmingham, I think, and then San Antonio. It got top 8.
It did decent in the Reg G run back that we just. We're still in it. I was about to say that we just finished, but we still haven't finished it.
What if Groudon wins Atlanta?
I really think. Oh, not Atlanta. I don't think it's going to win Atlanta. But I really do think that. I don't really believe in Lunala Groudon. I think that's a little underpowered. I really thought that Miraidon Groudon would be a combination we'd see. So I'm a little surprised that wasn't really like basically no one brought it to this tournament. And I really thought it was good, partially because it can really like very powerfully enable both Protomons and Quark Drive Mons, and you can probably put some funky compositions with that together. But yeah, just but yeah, none of that just wasn't really been around. I do think that part of that is early format; it's harder to build. But that is that was the one thing that I when I was scrolling through these results, I just did not see very much of. And so I'm interested to see how the format develops from here. We've got 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the first 3 weeks, I think, 4 weeks before the first tournament in Milwaukee. So we got a while for the format to develop. And yeah, we'll keep talking about all the tournaments that happen. But next up, we got to talk about a very important tournament that is going to come up, and that is the Atlanta Regional Championships. This is the first time. This is EUIC, Alex. Alex.
I didn't update. Okay, I updated the other links, but I forgot that one. That is absolutely.
All right. This is the.
Just click their homepage and maybe no, it's not going to be
fine.
easy to find from the
I'll
homepage
find it.
either.
I'll find it. Anyways, this is the first time that we have had a regional in Georgia since Athens Regional in 2017, a full 8 years ago. A long time ago. And so yeah, it's cool to see. I believe this is kind of replacing, because we have fewer regionals in NA this year. This is replacing kind of both Charlotte and Florida regionals, I think.
In Knoxville.
Did we have a Florida regional this year?
No.
No. So this is the only Southeastern regional, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
The closest one was Maryland. Maryland replaced Charlotte, and this one was like Knoxville and Florida. Like in the middle, I guess.
That's crazy. Yeah. So I mean, I guess actually, you know what? I say that Louisville was also Southeast-ish, right? So that's also.
Yeah, sure.
I think Louisville is the spiritual successor to Knoxville, and this one kind of is Georgia and Orlando. Yeah. So yeah. And so this is the Southeastern regional for the year, I guess. And it's cool to be back in Georgia. I haven't visited Atlanta in a long time. I'm really excited to go. And Tanner, we got you on. What should we be doing in Atlanta after we play 4 rounds of regulation G and decide we don't want to play this format anymore?
Dude, I saw like a TCG player post like a list, and if you see that, dude, disregard that, bro. That was like Chat GPT response. He was like, he literally, I promise you, that guy Googled like biggest, like what do you do in Georgia, and just like listed it down. Like I've been trying to talk to my friends about this. Like, I'll have a car, so it's a little different. Like, I'd say like a lot of things in downtown Atlanta are like kind of tourist trappy. Restaurants. My favorite restaurant in downtown Atlanta is Mary Mac's Tea Room. I really like that place. It's like a fried chicken place. That's my favorite food. So I go there a lot. There's a lot of good. There's this place called like Buford Drive, and they have a lot of like different ethnic. Yeah. That's it right there. That's one of my favorite restaurants. It's like semi close to.
Is it
like in the South? Nothing's close together. So like we can't.
We're down
like,
here, right?
We don't have. You can't Elizabeth line there, sadly. But if you're nice, I'll pick you up and take you. But yeah, that there's just other areas that like it just depends on where you're staying. If you want to do something fun, the College Football Hall of Fame is like something that a lot of people suggest that's really fun. It should be not too far. There's the Skyview Atlanta right there. It's the Skyview's right. Yeah, that's a really good area. I'm glad. Like when I saw it was over here, I was like really happy. The aquarium's right there too. We have like the biggest, coolest aquarium in the world, or like something like that. And like right there, that's our Ferris wheel, the Skyview Atlanta. It's a pretty cool thing. I don't know. I'm biased, but I think like Georgia's the best state in the whole world, and like Atlanta's the coolest city there. So,
we're like right next to
also,
them, huh?
Yeah, and also look, that's our Olympic Park because the '89 Olympics were in Atlanta. So like, yeah, that's all that stuff over there is like super awesome. When I was a little kid, I used to like have my birthday parties there and just like go. I was like, this is the coolest place ever. Like, can y'all just drive me over there? And me and my friends would just like walk around. So I don't know. I'm biased. It's a cool city. I'm glad it's there and not in like smelly Orlando where you can't walk and it's hot and you have to fight the Disney people. Yeah. Georgia regionals.
So we got someone in chat saying strip clubs, if that's your thing. We got someone in chat saying you got to go to Magic City for the lemon pepper wet wings. Tanner, what do you think about those?
1994, my bad. Like honestly, I'm 19, so I can't go to the strip clubs.
I wasn't asking about that
one. No, you don't need to continue on this conversation topic.
Sorry.
Please.
Don't go to Magic City. There's a better wing place called JR Crickets. I like it a lot more. It's next to Georgia State. It's a chain, but their wings are better. I've heard. It's just like that's a part of like the tourist trap things. Like everyone's like, oh, we're gonna go to Atlanta and go, to the strip clubs. I know we said we were stopped talking about that. I'm sorry, but like Atlanta is so like they like try to simplify Atlanta to being like, oh, strip clubs and wings, but like Atlanta's such an awesome city with like a bunch of awesome people from a bunch of different places. Like I would not come to Atlanta and be like, yeah, like strip club city. Like when you go to New Orleans, like yeah, do your thing, man. But like Atlanta's such a cool city. Don't go to Magic City to get the wings. Like if you want to go, like do your thing, but go to a better wing place that's owned by people that live here and not people that are sending the
Dude, I
money
want
elsewhere.
wings now. I'm
Yeah.
really ready to get some wings down in Atlanta.
I am. That is something that I would say like is as advertised. Like every time I go to a local, I stray off my beaten path to go to get wings somewhere good, not Magic City, but somewhere good.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Atlanta's awesome.
It's all right, Hoflax. You did get me. I did not get the reference at all. Is that okay? You know what? Change the topic.
Yeah,
How
All
did
right.
we get here?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but yeah, lemon pepper wings were made in Atlanta at that establishment
Okay.
because they're just not messy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's because they are not messy on your hands. So if you're like doing anything
Mhm.
with $1 bills, they don't get like teriyaki sauce on them. It's like a
Mm.
dry. Anyway, sorry, another.
That's smart. Yeah. No, I mean,
Good
I
facts.
can eat those wings and play Pokemon, right? That's the intended
Yes.
purpose.
That's
All
what
right.
it's all about.
So yeah. So I think the tournament is somewhere right around. It's the Georgia World Congress Center, right?
Yeah.
So it's right here. It's right near a lot of these things that we were talking about. Sadly, a little far away from some of the wings that we were talking about, but pretty close to the rest of the stuff, which is going to be really cool. Definitely very excited for that. Like I said, I
How
had
big was this one again?
over 900. Over 900 signed up. I don't remember. Someone has to tell me. Roshan was saying it's the biggest regional ever, but I don't know if that's true. Or if we've
I
had.
thought it
What
was
shows it there?
original.
TCG has like 1 billion people. I heard because it's like a
Mhm.
cheap
A
airport.
billion? Wait,
Yes, like
Aren't
really,
they
they have.
playing like poster? Isn't it like a
Yes,
new format?
It's
or
a new
rotation?
format, and like they got the deal on the flights, and like Atlanta is just generally a really good city to fly into. So like
Okay.
the TCG has more people than the EUIC TCG had for reference.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it's like a ton of people.
it is. I feel like, I mean, the last two biggest regionals we've had are Charlotte and Orlando, and we didn't have either of those this year. The Southeast turns up for tournaments. It's always a huge event. And-
Oh, okay. We're talking about regional. I was like, everyone's like keeps skipping EUIC. I'm like, I guess that's not a regional. My bad. Whoops.
yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a huge event. I know. No, it's not going to have 900 plus players attending because some of these are juniors and seniors, and some people no show. We usually have about a 10% no show rate. So I would expect over 800, but maybe closer to like 850-ish people, and who are actually competing. I don't know where that stacks up in the list of biggest regionals ever, but it's going to be a huge event, and yeah, it'll be a good time until you get to drop and then never play Reg G again, which is also going to be a good time. And then you get to drop and then go home and play the GC in your in your hotel.
Yeah.
You can see all the standard stuff here with the prize money and whatnot, and I think we had casters too. Aaron Zhang, Dewey Ha, Len Duel, Necra, and Sierra. Damn, love it. That's a great cast of casters as well.
That's a great group.
Yeah.
So. We rated this one like 4 out of 5. Honestly, they've just kind of all been 4 out of 5s lately because we're just getting so many people. I don't know if I would say it's quite like the hardest tournament of all time, and like the interest is probably at an all-time low, but that doesn't make it easy to win this tournament,
Mm-hmm.
It is, and actually maybe it makes it harder because there's like a really enticing distraction of like playing not Reg G available to you now via Regulation I. But with that said, though, I guess let's look at some of the past ones.
That's right.
The most recent Georgia specific one is this tournament in Athens, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that one was won by Paul Chua, who was using. I didn't actually play 2017 in January, so I do not recognize any of these teams. But shout outs to Juwon Kim. That's Sun Dude himself. It's been so long since I've seen that name. Using his patented Lily Cole strategy and getting second place at the regional. That is really cool to see. It's been a while since I've seen that name. I can keep going.
Jimmy's got a good point. I was going to say that could mean that there's more the casual players are skipping out on this one, and that it might just be like a really, really sweaty one. But like almost like that's what was happening in Ultra Series for the Boomers. Like we had like those 36-man ones where only like decent players were going. I guess like not 100% sure, but
I actually think it might be the opposite, where because this is the only regional in the Southeast, a lot of people are going to be like, well, this is the one regional within driving distance. I'm going to go to it. And they're not going to be super hardcore. Whereas a lot of the people who are more competitive, I mean, the people who are really grinding are going to show up anyways. But I know like Alex has not been playing Reg G the last 2 weeks because why would you? You want to play the next format, right?
Right.
And so if you are very competitive, but you are already in a comfortable spot for your Worlds Invite, or you're just not motivated and you're burnt out of this format, or you are not going for a Worlds Invite, but you are a very good player, you might have already moved on a little bit. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually one of the easier, biggest regionals that we've had. We'll see.
I would say, like, I've talked to a lot of my locals, and this is going to be a lot of their first regionals. So I think that tracks in terms of, like, this is, like, driving distance for a lot of people. So there could be a lot of new players from, like, the Southeast region. But, like, I agree. Like, I told myself if I got points at EUIC that I wasn't going to play, and I was just going to, like, watch my friends and take them to eat and stuff like that. But here we are. I think it's going to be fun, though.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, talking about the 2017 results, I mentioned Paul Chua, I mentioned Juwan, Ian McLaughlin, Texas player. Again, Texas very close to Georgia. Cheap flights coming out of, forget if he's Dallas or Houston. But yeah, he might be there for all we know. Alvin probably not showing up. He doesn't really play anymore. He plays Pokemon Go nowadays. We got Wolfie. If this is the biggest regional ever, he will show up, and he probably will win. We'll see. Right. I don't know if he's planning on going, but like it is a very cheap flight from DC, and it's very close to their direct flights. So I wouldn't be shocked if he shows up, but I also wouldn't be shocked if he's like, I don't want to play Reg G anymore, dude. So
his editors they're never gonna stop working.
It's true. He kind of has to like consider the YouTube channel and like, you know, like he can keep putting out good content for them to edit, but like they do have to catch up at some point.
He can bring Mono Water Kyogre if he wanted to.
I mean, he brought Terra Normal to a GC, right? Or Mono Normal to a GC. So, but no, I think that he is probably not going to meme a regional level tournament. I think he's going to take it seriously if he shows up, but we will see if he shows up. Yeah. So Uncle Lou is going. I saw on his Twitter that he's going.
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't get the first wave. He like typed his credit card information in and then like got distracted and like missed it. And then he was like, man, you think there's gonna be another wave? And I was like, yeah, probably. And then once they announced, he was like, yeah, I'll see you there. Those flights are so cheap from Dallas, so
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, Uncle Lou. I'm glad to see him back at events. He was one of the more fun presents at events back in Gen 7. So he will be there. Rajan will be there. He was on that NPA championship team. He was on stream. He, according to stream, clinched our NPA championships. Really, it was Henry Rich who clinched it, but he was there. So he's been actually playing this format somewhat seriously, like playing it well because of NPA. And so if he does well, I am taking credit for it because I have forced him to take this format seriously and help our team prep. I don't think Chuppa is going.
He has won a regional in this format, so
yeah. And then he brought Doug Trio to San Antonio, man.
Is Chuppa going?
No, Chuppa's not going.
Okay.
Chuppa's not going. Not sure about Brian. I don't recognize some of these other names down here. Mike Selesky, that's an old head, right?
The next one.
With Cloister?
Yeah. I don't think Mike's still doing it.
So I found the 2016 Georgia regionals as well. If we want to go all the way back, with Toller Webb winning this regional with is this Big Six?
That is
Big Six. That's what we always referred to Big Six as. Yeah.
Well, there's like 2 months. It's the same archetype. They're just a Weavile.
Wait a minute. Was it Megalith?
Was it not Mega Salamence? Yeah.
Oh, Mega Salamence. I'm spacing, dude. I'm spacing out. Okay.
There's no King.
Because they run Kang on that sometimes, but I forgot it's a double Mega team.
Yeah.
Wolf using Big B. Okay.
Wolf.
It does seem like Wolf. I mean, I know that Wolf does well wherever, but like he also is doing really well in this region. So
it was like him doing like bog standard stuff.
Is that a Togetic? Togetic? I've never seen that before.
Hell yes.
Okay.
It's better for after you and Trick Room.
After he's a Trick Room guy.
Crazy stuff. So this was back when they had regionals on the same weekends, and so I think a lot of these regionals were happening over the course of 2 weekends. So not everyone was going. Regionals were really regional at the time, right? Like you'd have to choose between going to Georgia regionals or Kansas regionals. And so if you're on the East Coast, you'd pick Georgia. If you're in the Midwest, you'd pick Kansas, right? So it was a little different time back then. And that's why regional championships from 2016 and prior don't count. Fun fact. But yeah, so I'm going to pull up, you pull up Orlando 23 and 24. And I will pull them up, but I will point out that Charlotte also is sort of in the same region, and Charlotte regionals has been happening pretty consistently. We've also had other Florida regionals since 2017.
I was missing one. I was like, I'm definitely missing something for this region, and I blanked on that one.
But I mean, there's a lot to talk about, and so we can just kind of summarize that. Hey, there's Wolf, and hey, there's Wolf. Crazy. Wolf has caught basically every regional in this area. He won a Charlotte regionals as well. Again, he does live in DC, right? DC area, so that is kind of the southeast-ish, northernmost point of the southeast. So it makes sense that he's coming to a lot of these events and doing very well at these events. So I shouldn't be shocked to see him here, but I really don't know.
Worse, he got top 8.
But yeah, just throwing out some other names. I see Ben Grisber. I know he's been playing this format still. I wonder if he's showing up. We saw Brian Yum, Donghoon, on another one of these lists as well. Rowan is a Atlanta local, I believe, right?
Yes, so, that's my buddy Rowan. Shout out Rowan. He's my local.
So we'll see if he can run it back, making top 16 at 2024. And in 2023, this was the second regional of Scarlet and Violet. You can see me getting 10th place. I lost to Wolf in Top Cut after stealing his team on accident. Yeah. And so that maybe I can run it back, get 10th place again. Wolfie winning again. We see Ashton on Dozo, James Evans. I don't actually know who among this list is showing up. I know Emilio Chuppa, Carson not going. What's up?
I mean, I'm just looking down the list, and I feel like it's like one of the strongest top 25 we've seen of all time.
Wacka too.
I don't know.
Tough.
Like the 25 players that finished at the top in this one, probably like.
I mean,
Hall
even
of
like
Fame.
down to 28, you've got like Luca Paz, Chile Yang, Giovanni Costa.
Brady Smith at 30.
Thank you, Ted, for missing the bit.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. I got you, man. My bad.
I don't. Why would I pick 25? Why would I pick 25?
Well, I just thought it was a nice round number.
Yeah, I guess.
Who's Alex Underhill?
This is maybe the strongest top 36 we've ever seen. Actually, I see an absolutely unknown player at the time named Patrick Connors, one of the Florida locals who now, obviously very well known. Also, by the way, one NPA.
Dozo Tots player, dude.
Okay, I
respected this guy.
It was Series B,
Oh my God.
right? It was Regulation B. Everyone was using it. He didn't really have a choice. It was one of the best teams.
Wasn't that like a 10-rounder, like get out at 9 p.m.?
It was a 10-rounder. After hack check, we got out past midnight, and we just showed back up for another hack check at like 8 a.m. Do you remember? It was like literally we had less than 8 hours of sleep if we fell asleep outside the venue. This is the regional that gave us day 2 Swiss. It was that miserable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, because is Charlotte the tournament after this?
Knoxville was the tournament after this, I think.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. I think. I might be mistaken. But yeah, this was the regional where we submitted a bunch of support tickets and got it changed.
Nice.
This was also a regional where a bunch of X2s missed cut, right? I know Sohaib got 33rd at his second straight regional after San Diego, which is really sad. I know, again, Pat Con went X2, and I know Justin Stipe went X2 as well, who's another old head player. So yeah, it was a very, very competitive regional. Weird event, such a weird event. But yeah, a lot of big names coming to this one who I don't think will be at Atlanta because this was a very exciting event, and Atlanta is a less exciting event. All right. Any other thoughts about the previous regionals in the Southeast before we jump into smart money?
I think I have a hot take that the 23 Charlotte top 8 is like one of the toughest ones. That's like my favorite top 8 ever. I don't know if Wolfie was in that one, but the 23 Charlotte was like the Karis regional, where it's like Karis, Luca, Steven, my friend Rich, which I'm biased because that was like my first like local to get top 8 at a regional. But like that was such a good regional. Like look at that top 8. Because that was when Silver Broom, was it Silver Broom or Boom? Silver Broom like was last every single round and like played hour-long sets the entire day and still cut. He went like EXO and Swiss. And then Steven, I don't remember. I don't know if I was friends with Steven then. And then Joe. Yeah, that's such a tough regional.
This was
and then us, Stone Journer.
yeah.
That's my jam right there.
That was
my first day too. I'm biased.
I was at this regional. I actually made a video recently where I talked about the set with Cortex versus Justin Karras and how Cortex got really, really brutally hacked in the very last round of Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
I was X1 after day 1. I played Chuppa in the very last round at X3, and because of the way day 2 Swiss used to work with resistance, because we both started X1 and we're X3, we both were guaranteed to have a 2-3 on our resistance instead of a 3-2, and so we were both locked out of cut because we played each other instead of playing someone who went X2 to X3, which is super weird. Weird stuff. Wolfie was at this regional. He got top 16.
I remember that team. I wanted to play him so bad because I thought that team was so terrible, and I had like a fine matchup into it. But yeah, scroll down to about 40 something place. I'm there.
Hey, there's me, 19.
Oh, wait.
40 something.
We're going a little far. No, I am down. I'm down here somewhere.
52. Yeah.
That's the boy, right? That's my first day too.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Shout out Gavin Michaels.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? It's funny because it's funny looking at this team that Wolf brought. And then I think he had a really, really bad showing at the 2023 World Championships. That also was like I think just a bad team. And then ever since then, he's just like he's been on a tear. He hasn't brought a bad team to a regional ever since then. Like he's just been doing so well with like good teams, using good Pokemon, and not bringing Tinkaton, Espathra to regionals anymore.
He got the Weezing Code Scroll, but he managed to do well with that.
That was Regulation H, so you were like allowed to use bad Pokemon. I think that's the. All right, let's do some smart money. So you're gonna pick whoever you think is gonna win the regional, or maybe just your favorites to overachieve at this regional. And we're gonna start with Mike. Who is your smart money for this regional?
Okay, going into this, I barely knew anyone who's going to Atlanta, but I know someone in my team building group who's been grinding. Go with Keon Seon.
Is that Kian? Sorry, what did you say his last name was?
Seon. Because you have to. Because he told me today that the pronunciation is not Keon Seon. That's not how you say it. You're supposed to say it Keon Seon.
How do you spell that? Do you know?
Kian.
Okay.
Sayan.
All right. We got Kian for smart money. Excited to see him
grinding. I think he's got a shot. No, there's an A before the Y.
There's an A before the Y. Okay. Oh, like Super Saiyan. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Conk VGC, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Smart money, and Kian. Tanner, who you got?
I was gonna pick myself, but I have talked myself down. With this pick, this guy doesn't have to drive through Nashville, so no getting rear-ended. I like his team because I helped made it, or I watched him make it. So I'm gonna go for Justin Burns. I think he's gonna get it done here. No car accidents pending. I think he's got a good. I think he's gonna do it.
All right.
Really, out there pick.
Alex, who you got?
Real out there.
I mean, niche player.
Actually, so fun fact: Justin always asks us not to pick him for smart money because he thinks he does poorly. He gets cursed by smart money. So this is all your fault now.
Cool. You can have the blame now. I was gonna put the curse on him, but now it's too late. So now I don't get to do the curse. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of stumped. We were looking through all these ones, and I couldn't quite find the name. Then it seemed like Toller did well at a couple of these, so I'm gonna grab Toller. I don't know if he's going 100% or not.
He
That's
is
the
going.
problem.
He's going.
Okay.
I saw him at the local last weekend, or this weekend, whatever.
Got it.
All right.
Yeah, I think Toller would be a good pick for this one.
2016 Georgia regional champion, trying to win his second regional in Georgia. All right. My pick.
Hero.
My pick. I see Rajan in chat. Yes, we are on YouTube now. It was not supposed to be on YouTube. This is a complete accident. But yeah. So I'm picking Rajan Ball because the last time he brought a good team to a regional, he got top 8 at Los Angeles regionals, which I will have to bring up every time I talk about him. And the time before that, he won a regional, and then he's been bringing dog shit ever since. And I do have it on good authority that he is bringing a good team to this regional, so I think he's going to do very well. And I've seen him prepare in our NPA chat, and how he's been like actually grinding this format, and I think he's I think he's going to do genuinely well. So I'm excited to see him ball out, as they might say. All right. Last but not least, we got the calc is right. So we have the calc is right. This is a show where we play at the end of our streams, where you had to one person will list out a damage calc, and then everyone else will guess a number for what percentage that attack will do. And if we are in the damage range, we get it correct, and if we are outside the damage range, we get it wrong. I know y'all have seen this show before, and so does anyone have a calc in mind to start us off?
Well, I have a funny calc.
All right, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna look. Okay, my Lunala from VR was 228 HP for defense.
Okay. I'm not even going to pull it up because I don't want people to see Lunala's stats. 228 HP for defense.
True.
Yeah, it's like nearly max HP. It's Terra Water. It has its Electric Seed. It has its Shadow Shield. So with all those multipliers, with all those defensive multipliers, how much is Cali Ice Glacial Lance going to do to Lunala?
What's the investment on that? Just clear amulet with 252 adamant?
Just clam 252. Actually, do 116 because everyone runs 116.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a number.
I have a number as well.
With the Shadow Shield? We're talking about Lunala, right?
Yeah.
With the Shadow Shield, with Terra Water, with +1 defense.
Oh, yeah.
I got a number.
All right, you got to call on someone.
All right, let's start with Alex Underhill.
All right. I'm gonna go for 7.
All right.
7%.
All right. What about you, Adi?
I think it's doing less than that. I think it's doing 6%.
All right. And Tanner, what do you think?
I had 5 in my head, so we really
all right.
progressively went
We're
down.
all lined up.
All right. And so you're gonna have to remind me what's the bulk on this Lunala?
220 HP for defense.
220 HP for defense. Terra Water.
228.
228.
Not that matters much.
Versus Calyrex Ice, 116 attack, adamant, clear amulet.
Terra Water.
Terra Water. I got the Terra Water.
Oh, you're missing the Death Boost.
No, I got it. It's Electric Seed, +1 defense.
You don't have it. Wait, from.
No, it says it.
Okay, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I put Electric Train on.
Possibly the worst move ever.
Okay.
All right. And so
wait.
So Alex, I think you're the only one who got it right. You said 7?
I'm the only one in there.
No, 8? Yes.
It's a very actually small window to hit, so it's not easy to hit.
Yeah.
Nor would you guys be so wrong that you'd lose a game off of this. You might if you had to. No, actually, I don't know what kind of context this is the game losing, because this is only with Shadow Shield up. It's not like the final 5%. This is the first 5%. So.
Man, we need a special attacking version of this. So something can take less than 10% from Astral Barrage.
I think Giraffe takes very little.
All right. Who is just gonna keep us moving because we are close to time?
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it, Adi. So let's do that Frostmoth calc. I don't really know what spreads these things are going to run. So we'll just, and remember, don't pull out those stats. Don't pull out those stats.
Yep.
For Frostmoth, I'm just gonna say it's max HP.
Okay.
We're just gonna say max HP Frostmoth. I don't know where the rest of the EVs are allocated. Maybe we'll give it 4 in special defense. And just how much is it taking from Miraidon's Electro Drift in terrain? We'll say it's specs and modest max. How well is it taking the drift?
Right. I have a calc.
I don't even know if
when
that's
you're ready.
like resistant or not.
Wait, you gotta know the type chart. That part I can't.
I do
Do you-
not know the type chart, bro.
Do you know
the
Frostmoth's
game
typing?
tells you nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a number.
I got a number, I guess.
All right, let's start with Tanner because you seem the most confident.
55% if it's neutral. Half of that if it's not.
It is
All right.
neutral.
It
Bang.
is neutral. Spoilers.
55.
Wow, Adi. Maybe Mike didn't know. Mike, what's your number?
I was going with 53.
Okay.
All right.
Adi.
I think it's a little higher than that. I think it's 62.
Okay. Let's find out how well Frostmoth can take these. So yeah, there we go. That looks good. We're looking at drift.
It's just
There's probably no spread for this thing. Just max that, and I think the ability seems good. So yeah. Oh wow.
It is-
Yeah, this thing is trash. This thing is trash.
It's taking it so much worse than I was hoping.
Bend this thing, bro.
Frostmoth.
It is so much worse. Well, yeah, wow. I really thought it would take it a little better than that. Damn. I guess that's why you need to. Oh man, that's brutal. I can't think of a single good thing to say about this guy. I got nothing to say.
All right.
For
Adi
60%.
or Tanner, you guys got a calc?
I've got mine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just learned this recently. I guess this is like kind of common, but like, do y'all know how much Miraidon Electro Drift does into Terra Fairy AV Bolt?
Honestly, I wouldn't say I'm like a guaranteed, like I know it 100%. So
I was shocked. I was shocked when I saw it. So that.
All right.
But I also have not played any AV Bolt, so.
You got to give us a little bit the spread info.
Yeah.
So.
The one I'm referencing the one that they have on Nerd of Now, so that works.
Okay,
out
so we can
pretty
open up
easily.
that one then. That's
Wait,
fine.
but the stat.
We probably know of Raging Bolt's stats well enough, I would say, I guess. All right, so this is 188.4 is what we're looking at. Okay, and how much it's taking from Max Modest Drift?
Max Modest Drift.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got a number.
I think I'm ready.
I have a number.
All right.
Okay, Alex.
I'm gonna go. I feel like it's doing an uncomfortable amount too much. I'm gonna go just like a flat 80.
Okay. Adi.
I was also going to say a flat 80. So I'll go.
All right,
I'll
which
go.
way you going? Up or down? Price it right.
I'll go one down. I'll say 79.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna
Mike?
go with. I think it does a bit. I mean, Miraidon is nuts. But I'm gonna say 75. I'm gonna say 76. How about
76.
that?
All right. We are all in a very narrow range here. So let's say this is timid. We go modest. And we are doing, and we are all out of the range. It's actually doing 81 to 96.
I was like, oh my gosh, you're still taking so much.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
So
And-
good.
Yo.
I'm not using Miraidon.
Chat was on point. Ally Switch said 95. Sea-Dog said 88. They knew it better than we did for sure.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
Maybe they should host tub takes.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Adi, bring us in with the last one.
All right. I was trying to use this time to find a cool Pokemon to talk about, and I did not I did not have one ready. So let's go ahead and we can do a Dondozo calc, I guess. No, you know what? That team used a Assault Vest Miraidon. So let's do an Assault Vest Miraidon calc. How much does Life Orb Astral Barrage from Calyrex Shadow, let's just say max special attack timid, due to a Assault Vest Miraidon that is just 252 HP Force Bidef?
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, I have a number.
I also have my number.
I'm ready as well.
All right. I'll start with Mike. What do you got?
I have 34.
34%. All right. Tanner, what do you think?
Oh, I was saying 42.
42. No one believes it's two-shotting. Alex, what do you think?
I'll stick with where I was in the middle. It's 40%. So
40%. All right. Nope, this is Calyrex Ice. hold up. Where's my Calyrex Shadow Life Orb CSR from the last GC? Going on into Assault Vesper Rhydon with 252, Force Bid Def, and Astral Barrage is doing 33.8 to 40%. Were you all in there?
Oh my god, wait.
Wait, we're
I was
all,
not
I said 40. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I was at
Okay.
42. I was at 42.
You're at 42.
Yeah, 42 is too much.
Yeah.
I got the low roll, and Adi got the high roll.
It's true.
Yep.
This is
41 as well.
This is like pretty good, right? Like this is genuinely like I'm kind of sold on Assault Vesper Rhydon, right? This is what we've been missing on the Ice Rider teams.
Too bad I have an Assault Vest hands.
That's KOing, man.
Yeah, Amulet, though.
I don't know what you want. That's most that's usually KOing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up from us. I did see some questions in chat about streaming on YouTube. If so, maybe, I don't know. I was not trying to stream on YouTube. It was kind of an accident. And so we'll see if, and I think it doesn't do great for the YouTube video numbers. So I don't know. Also, if Alex is streaming, he doesn't have access to my YouTube channel, so that also kind of puts a damper on it. So we'll see. But I can try at the very least when I'm the one who's hosting Tub Takes. But yeah, we'll see. I suspect the answer is going to be no, especially if we want to put it on other platforms as well. But yeah, we are going to throw it over to I think it's going to be let's go over to Topo. Actually, no, I see Yotam is streaming. All right, let's head over to Yotam, who's playing a Limitless Tour Regulation I with Hard Trick Room. Yotam, another one of my DC locals now, who is very good and is, I think, maybe going to Atlanta. I don't know, but he's playing some Regulation I. He's trying to get more comfortable on camera, I think is what he said. So if you want to give him the authentic stream environment, go and tell him he made a misplay. Is what you got to do. Go and heckle him a little bit, I guess. No,
Yeah, right.
Be nice. Yotam's great. We're gonna send you over there, and yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, we'll catch you later.
Peace out.
See you.
See ya.